present tonight's Equality Leadership Award to our friend and former board president, Andreas Meyer.
Equality California's boards, we could not have asked for a better role model, colleague, and friend than Andreas. When he took the helm of Equality California, it was at an inflection point. It was in the wake of the fight for marriage equality. LGBTQ civil rights organizations across the country, and especially here in California, were faced with a challenge. What's next?
Andreas answered that call with confidence, passion, and an unmatched commitment to the work ahead. Take a look.
A respected attorney and loving husband, Andreas Meyer has dedicated his life to serving the LGBTQ community. As the former board president of Equality California, Andreas led the organization during a period of transition, rebuilding our board, raising needed funds, and charting a new strategic path forward in the post-marriage equality era.
The moment that I felt was a watershed moment for the organization was a strategic planning effort that began while I was the board president. That was the critical importance of intersectionality. I really believe that's one of the very key reasons the organization is prospering in the way it is today, because we're cooperating and leading not just our own community, but the other communities our people are part of.
Andreas continues to be a role model for LGBTQ people in public service. As a member of the Orange County Fair's Board of Directors, founder of the Orange County Lavender Bar Association, and President Emeritus of Equality California.
I think it's the core conviction in me to family and to community. I want every family, no matter what it looks like, to be able to feel protected, included, welcomed, and cherished by its community.
We are proud to present Andreas with Equality California's Equality Leadership Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming tonight's Equality Leadership Award recipient, Andreas Meyer.
I'm so humbled to receive this award. To my mind, the principal thing I should be credited with doing is sending a few guilt trip emails 5 years ago that persuaded Rick Zver to come out of his newfound retirement and take the helm of Equality California. My bosom buddies, Joyce Rowland, Lori Hazenkamp, Susan McCabe, and I made a hard sell to Rick to live his life in Technicolor, and he fell for the bait. 5 years later, the nation's single most successful LGBTQ lobbying organization has not only been recalled to life, but it has been transformed into a leading voice on the intersectionality of civil rights movements and the importance of political power to our community. It's wonderfully empowering to consider what we've been able to achieve together over the past decade. And truly, I can't imagine any place better to celebrate that than at Equality California's 20th anniversary gala. mind is also filled with the memory of our community members who can't be here tonight. The privilege to celebrate the accomplishments of our movement was never given to the generation our LGBTQ family lost to AIDS, nor to the thousands of LGBTQ people who continue to lose their lives every year to acts of intolerance and hate. I believe we are faced at this particular moment in time with the great war of our movement. Our enemy has become more cunning than ever. He's cloaked himself in our rhetoric of tolerance and civil rights, and in the same breath incriminates us with false cries of religious persecution. And he is persuasive. Even here in California, the forked tongue of our nemesis has planted seeds of doubt in the minds of ourselves and our allies. I experienced the effect of our enemy's guile just 2 days ago during a board meeting at the Orange County Fairgrounds. I introduced a draft policy for the board to consider that would have prohibited the fairgrounds from entering into agreements that do not include non-discrimination language. I proposed this policy after learning that in 2018 the fairgrounds had granted $75,000 to an institution with a long history of discrimination against our community. The OC Fair Board is almost entirely comprised of compassionate allies of our community, and the proposed policy was at first received positively. But then, the devil cracked open the door and whispered in our ears. Wouldn't this measure go too far, he asked? Wouldn't we be prejudicing the free exercise of religion? Is it lawful to exclude those who have sincere religious beliefs about the sinful and abominable character of homosexuals? Doubt even crept into my own mind as these whispers craftily persuaded me that perhaps the policy was not necessary. Surely the managers of the fairgrounds had heard the message loud and clear about the importance of non-discrimination. Faced with conflict with my allies, and desperate as I've always been, like so many of us, for acceptance, I withdrew the proposal. In the 2 days since that meeting, I have reproached myself for letting the fog of war cloud my mind. The answer to all those questions was simple. If an institution will not agree to conduct its activities on state property or using state funds in a non-discriminatory manner, then it has no business conducting its activities on state land or using state resources. I wish I would have asked myself harder of these questions during the meeting. Does that go too far? No. Does it prejudice the free exercise of religion? No. Is it lawful to exclude those who have sincere religious beliefs about the sinful and abominable character of us? Yes. If it isn't, then it should be, and we should not go down without a fight. In accepting this award tonight, I can promise you that I will not back down again. I will not compromise, and I will not be told that our civil rights are an overreach. Because we are at war, and we must sound the alarm. Our fight is not just a fashionable political issue, but rather a struggle for our very survival. Those of us gathered here, the privileged and the blessed, must not forget where we came from. Even though it's painful, we must constantly remind ourselves of the dark and unshakable terror of physical violence, social exile, and criminal prosecution that lurks in our recent past and which continues to torment our brothers and sisters across the country and around the globe. And let's not be fooled. Our enemy would see us go back to that place, but we will not let him win. And our sacrifices will nourish the flowers of our future, the hope and the birthright of our country. For we have been patient, we have been tolerant, we've learned the difficult lessons. And so, the legendary children shall inherit the earth.
Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell and West Hollywood City Councilmember John Heilman.